I got one question for you. Can you feel it? Can you feel the rage? By God, can you feel the aggression? Do you have gratitude? Can you? Oh my God! Can you feel it? That's right, baby. It's the day I've been waiting for. The day I get to do a video about MOOOOOOL. Yeah! Now, MOOOOOOL may not be my number one absolute favorite divinity in 77 Thrones Theological Codex. But I tell you what, there is no God more fun to talk about. No within the Ring of Fire God more fun to theorize how he would react to certain situations and how he would, as Andrew Wood would say, sort that ass out. But whether or not I like other divinities more, this video is about one God and one God only. I'm talking about Big Dirty. I'm talking about the Red. I'm talking about the Bear God. I'm talking about the Blood God. I'm talking about the God of pro wrestling. I'm talking about MOOOOOOL, baby. That's right. So, let's start out with the basic facts. Okay. MOOOOOOL is a god. That means he is the child of two elder creators. And what elder creators parented MOOOOOOL? Hool, the elder creator of death and iron and the underworld. And Opiate, the elder creator of the mind, of empathy, of dreams, of the things that emotion is made of. So with MOOOOOOL, you bring those things together. Death and dreams, the underworld and the astral plane. Rage and gratitude born from that mix of raw practicality and abstract thought put together. So that's what MOOOOOOL comes from. And don't you forget it. Or MOOOOOOOL might forget all about you. Now, what else? So we know he's of underworld and dream, of those two great elemental forces of the astral and the dead, of the imaginative and the solid. So what else? MOOOOOOL is the god of rage. He's the god of gratitude. He's the god of gluttony. He's the god of sexual aggression. Among other things, such as caves and caverns and bears and ogres. So he's this sort of passionate, brutal, wild god, but he's got a joyful side to him. He's even described in the book as happy-go-lucky most of the time, and that's where you have gratitude coming in. That's where you have his sense of if MOOOOOOL hasn't been wronged, MOOOOOOOL doesn't have beef with you. MOOOOOOOL doesn't care what you believe. He's best friends with Nijak Thee. MOOOOOOOL's trying to destroy the world. Nijak Thee's trying to save the world, and the two are best friends. That's how MOOOOOOOL works. I'll tell you who MOOOOOOOL doesn't like. Ozzy Dahaka, the punk-ass bitch who makes every strong man weak by filling him with disease. MOOOOOOOL wants to test the strong, but to just rob them of their strength, it's a vile thing to do. So what other basic facts about MOOOOOOOL are there? Well, he is not a god who gets along with the goddesses. Because let's face it, MOOOOOOOL is trying to rape that ass all day long. Now, MOOOOOOOL isn't like Ozzy Dahaka. MOOOOOOOOL doesn't just want to violate you for the sake of violating you. He just wants the booty, but he doesn't care how he has to get it. You say yes or no, MOOOOOOOL still wants the booty. And the thing is, though MOOOOOOL may be the greatest unarmed fighter in all of Kvegathale, the goddesses of Kvegathale are some powerful fucking ladies, and they got weapons. I'm talking Dazazea with her golden Kopesh. I'm talking Helena with her war spear. And I'm talking Cinder with her assets. And they use these weapons, and they use their swooners. They use their hangers-on, who all the simps who go after the absolute Giga Chad incel MOOOOOOL. Although MOOOOOOL's not an incel, he still fucks, but yeah, he's kind of an incel. That's why I love him. But what else? What else? Other basic facts. MOOOOOOL teaches against tranquility. He teaches against ingratitude. He teaches against temperance. Those are all sins. You must be wild. You gotta go buck wild. You gotta, when that person pisses you off, you fuck him in the ass. You gotta, be grateful. You gotta know when you've been wronged, and you gotta know when you've been righted. Because if you don't know when you've been righted, if you don't show that gratitude. Sorry, I thought I hit my dog. Then you ain't shit, Jack. And that's how it's gonna be. So what else to understand about MOOOOOOL? Okay, let's get into the actual abstract. There's more basic facts about him, but if you want to know him, read the fucking book. So, what else? What else to know about MOOOOOOL? And give me just a second. Just a second. Okay, I got a game coming up soon, you see, and I just had to make sure they understood what I was doing. But so okay, let's start. What does MOOOOOOL get from his parents? How does death and dream combine to make MOOOOOOL? Well, we got to think about the dreamlands as having a geography. And at the top of that, and MOOOOOOL is the first dream divinity we're talking about. So we get to talk a little bit about astral cosmology, if you will. So at the top of the dreamlands is the daydream. That is the high heaven of the dreamlands, the realm where light and dream come together to create a realm of pure tranquility. And at the bottom is the nightmare. Nightmare! Where dream and darkness come together to create a place of madness and fear. But what lies right above the nightmare? The slumber. The slumber, where the dreams of the spirits of the underworld go. Where you go when you fall into a deep sleep and everything is black except for that one red pulsating light. Some say it's the heart of MOOOOOOL. But who really knows? So, the god of slumber, of the land of slumber, from that land, what does that say about MOOOOOOL? He is a god of deep but simple thought. MOOOOOOL, his mindset, his understanding of the world, like the underworld, is rigid and narrow. Well, the underworld is vast and huge, but like Ta'Hool, MOOOOOOL is rigid and narrow in his mindset, and yet, like Opiate, he is deep. He is, if not thoughtful, at least contemplative. He slumbers, he sleeps, he sits and thinks, and he eats and drinks, and he comes to have opinions. Opinions that he is wont to change now and then, but always within this strict structure of emotional realism. Hurt those who wrong you, benefit those who benefit you. That's what MOOOOOOL needs. When you're hungry, eat. When you're tired, sleep and sleep deeply. When you want to fuck something, fuck it. It is simple. Do not wrong those who aid you. Do not aid those who wrong you. Do as your body commands you to do. Do as you want and always be strong. And that is how death and dream comes together, taking that simple practicality of death and broadening it to something abstract, to something thoughtful, if simple. It's why ogres are so good at philosophy, even though they are otherwise a bit all over the place mentally. It's because they take after MOOOOOL in every way. What else? So we've gone into that. All right. So how is MOOOOOL going to act when he runs into players? And MOOOOOOL is not only fun to roleplay in a saga, having players meet him, he is very doable. The first thing is that MOOOOOOL's going to be funny. Don't get me wrong. People are going to laugh if you roleplay him right, but resist the urge to make him silly. Resist the urge to make him, hey everybody, I'm MOOOOOOL. Oh, you better not fuck around. Ooh. No. You should take inspiration from images of Odin or Thor or Bori. You have MOOOOOOL sitting, this massive, muscular god of the mountains, in a great throne of stone with his big gut, his massive muscles burning with rage, looking at you, sitting on that throne, Jarl Ulfric style, looking down, and he reaches down and picks you up by the collar and looks you in the eyes, strokes his beardless chin, and he says, little one, you come to my realm. You come to the land of slumber. And you come to me. I have just eaten, but I will soon be hungry again. So speak quickly, little one, and tell me what you have come to me for. Mighty Moo, speak! Do not stutter! And then you can have that anger and it can be horrifying. This giant god of rage might eat you, and then he and he sets you down on his armrest by him. Look at you! So pathetic and cowardly. The face! You nearly shit yourself, didn't you? I will be hungry soon, so speak quickly now, or I may devour you. And he'll lean back and he'll have his hands on his gut and he will demand respect. If you respect MOOOOOOL, that's it. You're dead. You're dead. Whether he kills you there or he sends ogres after you, depending on how he's meeting you. If you're meeting him in a dream and you, fuck you, MOOOOOOL, bitch. You're a coward and you disrespect them like that? Well, you better believe some berserkers are coming, whoa, to fucking sort that ass out. But on the other hand, MOOOOOOL has a different view of respect than other gods. MOOOOOOOL understands anger. If you are a worshiper of MOOOOOOL in my games, you're allowed to get mad at MOOOOOOL, even to his face. You can lose your shit at MOOOOOOL. You can drag MOOOOOOL's name through the mud. You can say, you know what? Fuck you, MOOOOOOL. Fuck you. I've been praying to you for cycles. I've been worshiping you. I've been giving virgins to you, and now I'm old and I'm gonna die soon. And I haven't gotten the wealth that I was promised. I haven't gotten what I sought. Fuck you, MOOOOOOL. And MOOOOOOOL will punish you. There will be a response. But he'll reward you too, and MOOOOOOOL will look at you and he'll go, you're brave. I'll give you that. Boink! And you'll go flying and you'll hit the wall. And he'll say, you are foolish to to speak to me in such a way. But I have not forbidden foolishness, and you are right. You have been loyal to me. And so, go into the woods. You will find a bear. At the foot of the bear, you will find, and he'll go into the story of a quest for you to follow, and you'll follow it in your old age. You're this old dying ogre, and then you come to the end of it, and what do you find? What does the bear lead you? One last feast. And you eat and drink. Yes! And in your greatest of joys, in that moment, as you are full of gratitude, in that moment, moo, moo, and you die of a heart attack with a smile on your face, because that's how Mool operates. And Mool will appear to mortals. Mool will appear to mortals who have served him well. Mool will appear to mortals who have angered him. Phraeans who steal the souls of ogres. He will appear to Mihangi, who are allied with ogres. He will speak to them. He will promise them his aid, even though they do not worship him, because Mool is grateful. And Mool is smart. He is very, very wise. Extremely wise. Do not play Mool as an idiot. But he is simple-minded. And he could make glorious strategies if he wanted to. But why would he want to? Mool is not concerned with great lofty goals or tactics or strategies. So now we can segue into Mool as sort of background force, protagonist, and antagonist. As a background force, Mool is great. Understanding the sort of presence he has in the world of rage and violence. He is the god of violence. Understanding that hand in all wars, in all conflicts, in all fights, in all bar fights, in all battles, that hand is going to be there at work, pushing, heightening it. And as a protagonist, Mool is going to be pushing your characters forward. He's going to be in your corner. He's not going to make it so you can win, but he is going to help your victories be glorious. And when you fail, Mool is the one there going, get up, get up, get up, and helping you to, not today, stand up and fight back. So that works really well. But as an antagonist, Mool can be so scary and so direct. He might come for you. But that can really ruin a saga, in my opinion. Like, yes, I do have in my sagas, it is possible that if players are dumb enough, they can put themselves in a situation where they'll interact directly with a god and kill them. But I make that pretty difficult just because, oh, well, a god showed up and killed all of you is not really the most fun. So Mool is more direct than other gods, but he will use tools. He will use indirect tools, sending berserkers after you, sending his followers, his Nanooks, imagining a big bear with all its muscles on the outside and the skull at its head, two tongues coming out, and a big swinging cock as it comes towards you. Oh, ready to devour you and bring your soul before Mool, where he will rape the shit out of you before he flicks your soul over to Hool, dried up and used up, ready to be reincarnated as some useless fucking Chthon. And that's what Mool will do to you when you piss off the god of rage. So let's talk about Mool's agenda. What does Mool want? In a word, more. Mool wants more battle. Mool wants more food. Mool wants more sex. Mool wants more fun. Mool wants more drugs. Mool wants more all the time. But he's not greedy. He's willing to give it all up and then get it all again. It's not the having, it's the getting that gets Mool off. It's the getting that wealth, and then he'll give it away. It's the getting that power, and he'll give it away. And he loves violence, and he wants the world to fight. MOOOOOOL is tired of tranquility and of peace and of politics and of people having their lives ruined without the chance to fight back. When MOOOOOOL looks down on the world and he sees a man lose everything because of some political or financial decision completely out of his control, that breaks MOOOOOOL's heart. To MOOOOOOL, that is a grave injustice. To take everything from a man without even laying eyes upon him is foul. But to meet a man and fight him and kill him and take his things, that is noble, that is honorable, that is right, and that means you are strong, not some pathetic, backdoor, sleazy, deezy motherfucker piece of shit. And MOOOOOOL will judge you accordingly on what you do. What else does MOOOOOOL want? MOOOOOOOL wants, and this is something I add in my games, every species who worships darkness has a different understanding of what the end of the world is going to be. Or I should say, every divinity in the court of darkness and the species that follow them. For Mihan-Geese, it's going to be this glorious rapture where the world is unraveled in horrific, nightmarish destruction as people are warped and twisted and consumed and the world peels apart, but being risen up into that glorious darkness, into the new perfect world, will be the Mihan-Geese and their god Ajira and their Nixades. And for Azidahaka, for Akarai, simple destruction. Everything is snuffed out. But MOOOOOOL and his ogres know the end of the world as Ragnarok, a glorious battle. MOOOOOOL doesn't want the world to end, but MOOOOOOL doesn't care. MOOOOOOL believes the world will end, and he wants to be there having heavy metal warfare, baby. At the end of days, in there, in the fight, he's grabbing Cureleaf, throwing him across the room. He points at Nogus, runs up, bang! And then from behind, oh by God, it's Alice with the sword into MOOOOOOL's back as MOOOOOOOL and then grabs, hucks Alice forward. It's just a battle, and MOOOOOOL doesn't need to win. MOOOOOOL's pretty sure he's going to die in Ragnarok, but that's what he wants. And he wants the world to be prepared, and he wants everything to be violence and bloodshed. He wants everything to be rage, rage, rage when Ragnarok comes. And he wants his people, his ogres, to be ready. And that is why he is furious that they are turning their red backs on him. For the bitch Dazazea. For the lion, cheating, wheeling, dealing, he who has many names. For the bitch ass, jabroni ass, simp, Alice. Even for the thunder and lightning, Lesbo, lady of the sea, Fatash, who is awesome, by the way. Out of character. Fatash is badass. And so are all the other gods I mentioned. But MOOOOOOL is furious, and so he needs new followers. And so another part of MOOOOOOL's agenda that wasn't something MOOOOOOL had originally planned for. Originally for MOOOOOOL, it was just come into existence, party, Ragnarok, and that's the end of everything. And that was what MOOOOOOL wanted. But now, he might not be there when Ragnarok rolls around. He might not have his army. He might not have his war. He might have that taken from him. And it might just be a boring end of the world where just everything gets unraveled and fucking, oops, all right, I guess the world died peacefully in its sleep. No! So MOOOOOOL must find a way to fill that vacancy left by his servants, by his species. And that is where the humans come in. That's where the humans of Karth, who worship MOOOOOOL as the American dream. He's just a common man. That's right. MOOOOOOL is becoming the God of the common man. And MOOOOOOL will have a comeback, but MOOOOOOL will be different. And perhaps this will change in your game MOOOOOOL's agenda in unforeseen ways. Perhaps MOOOOOOL will become not a villain, but a hero, rising up those who are held underfoot, bringing them up into the glory of life. Fuck you, nobility. Fuck you, Rizra. Fuck you, everyone else. I'm talking the common man. Boogie. And that's right. That's something to keep in mind, that MOOOOOOL is now reaching out to these humans and he's trying to teach them. But he's being changed by them too. And who knows, MOOOOOOL may wish to grab other worshippers, perhaps the Mihangis with their murderous ways, perhaps the Kalfar with how indulgent and lustful they can be. And soon, MOOOOOOL may be over. MOOOOOOOL may lose his throne of divinity and fall. He may be depleted. But it ain't over yet. And I tell you what, it's not over till the fat ogress sings. And MOOOOOOL will never, ever give up. Because by God, baby, MOOOOOOL is not done till he says he's done. Fuck yeah.